Oh, big stretch. Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. We've only been gone for a couple of hours, but I just can't help myself. I'm having way too much fun today. Hope you're well. Hope everybody's having a great day. This is Monkey in the Morning. I am Monkey, and hopefully Jack will be here soon. I started it much earlier than I had planned it to be started, but that's just because I really don't pay any attention to when we're going to start. I try to get it close enough to so that people don't miss stuff, but the only reason I even do it is because I have to set it up that way to use a thumbnail. Otherwise, I would just go live when I'm ready to go live. I'm not one of those people that's going to sit here and make you listen to music for 30 minutes so that I can be like, yeah, I just want to make sure people had time to get here. Because I find that to be, frankly, just a cheap way to get people watching your stuff and get more hours out there. But that's neither here nor there. We're here tonight to continue laughing at the debacle that is the Democratic Party and the shambles that they are in at the moment. Holy moly. Did you guys see people actually crying about this? Oh my God. I may have called some of Destiny's fans butt butter eaters. Nice. Oh man, Destiny's gonna have a meltdown. He was so all in on Biden that he really doesn't have much to fall back on. It was really, really bad. What's up, Jack? How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
I'd be doing better if I remembered to plug in my earphones. Hang on a second so people don't hear an echo. There we go. Let's try that again. I'm sore as hell, but happy because, well, today's been funny.
True.
You weren't here for the first part of this when I did this earlier, so let's just get your reaction. What you think?
First let me say the magic words that I love saying. Told you so.
As soon as the money dried up, as soon as they threatened him with that, I mean, he had no choice. He really didn't.
Yeah, I know you were on board with me on that for a while, but I've been saying this for a while, and people have been saying you're full of shit, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. I was right. Because especially after that first fucking debate, he was done. Everybody bailed ship as soon as they saw what he was like.
I don't think as many people jumped ship as they should have, and we're still seeing the same thing with them. How many of them are calling for him to step down out of office? This is a man who basically just came out and said, I can't do this job, so I'm going to spend the next 6 months pretending to do the job. Real quick, Dark Resurrect. Dark Resurrect, thank you for that feminist $12. Good evening, Sir Simeon. According to the Twitter machine, not even Biden's staff was notified until after his dropout letter was written, not by him. Interesting. Yeah. Megyn Kelly, I saw that on her show, that Biden's staff found out the same way we all did when Biden announced it on Twitter.
Yeah, I heard that a memo went out 1 minute before it was announced publicly.
Well, oddly enough, a fundraiser for Joe and Kamala went out minutes after the announcement.
Oops.
So it's like they didn't even tell the campaign staff, hey, we're done.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just say I'm really, really dying to see the next White House presser.
Oh, it's going to be a shit show of epic proportions.
It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, well, that's what I just said.
Poor Corinne is going to have to answer questions. You know what? Wait, before we go on, I am putting this on the screen. I am proud of this one, and I'm enjoying it. This one, right? Yeah, there we go. We need this on the screen while we talk. So, I don't think Joe necessarily wanted to drop out of this election.
I don't think so either. I'm wondering what they had to promise Dr. Jill.
I don't think there was a promise at all. I think they went old school and threatened. I think this, yeah. Because the one thing Biden does want is his legacy. I mean, he's from that crowd where that's what matters to him. Just look at how much he talks about what he did. I mean, he basically came into office bragging about doing stuff that he'd never did. Keldrig, thank you so much. Twitter put me in a timeout for inciting, threatening, or glorifying violence, for telling Olbermann to pull the cactus out of his ass. I'm paraphrasing, sorry. I should retire that insult since it gets me in trouble, but I want to express how I feel correctly. You got incitement of violence for telling him to pull the cactus out of his ass?
Yeah, that's.
I feel like that's good medical advice.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not that familiar with the habitat of the cactus.
Huh. I would not even be slightly surprised if Joe is dead and this is just cover. Somebody floated that idea to me not long ago, but I don't think that. I think he's alive. We saw him getting off the plane. Did you see the video of him trying to get off the plane?
No, I heard it was bad, though.
Oh, I don't even go down the stairs that slowly. It is good medical advice. Absolutely, Keldrick. I feel like Twitter apparently wants people to have a bad time.
You know,
you shouldn't put cactuses up your butt.
As a general rule, yeah. If I were president, I'd insist on one of those bucket lifts instead of the stairs. Why would you go up and down the stairs? You're president of the free world. Get a fucking elevator.
I ain't walking. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, that's not my job. Have some people carry me, maybe.
At the very least, bring over one of those conveyors you put the luggage on,
right?
And let me ride up it.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we're the weird ones. People want staircases.
Even one asked if we saw where people were talking like Biden was dying. Yeah, and I am going to be a little bit nice, just a little bit, when we watch Van Jones, but not very much. They brought this on themselves. I do not want to hear about how fucking tragic this is. This man was a disaster from the moment he ran for office way back in he's been 50 years now. So in the 70s, this man has been a disaster. He was a disaster in 2020 and they just hid it and all tried pretending like, oh, there's nothing wrong with Joe. I have no sympathies. None.
No, me either. Look, what they've done to him is awful. Making him do this job, one of the most stressful jobs in the world. And that's all Dr. Jill's ego. But he was never a nice man. He's a bad person and he's a piece of shit. So
I hear what you're saying. It wasn't all Jill, though, because Biden did want this. Granted, he was losing his fucking mind and his family should have been like, no, Joe, you can't do this. But he did want it. So he, in my mind, especially early on, was just as culpable. Look, guys, he didn't not run in 2016 because of Hillary. He didn't run because this had already started. This is why we get the planting of suddenly his stutter, which had only been mentioned publicly once before in like 2008. It's the reason it suddenly comes back up. Oh, he's got the stutter. And he's like, no, I'm dropping out because he didn't leave Congress when his wife and daughter were killed. But we're supposed to believe that this guy who wanted to be president for his entire fucking life didn't run in 2016 because his kid died.
Yeah,
really?
He used his dead wife as a photo op.
Yeah. No, it's just Bo and garbage pits or whatever. What do they call it? Is it the garbage fires that they were doing?
Oh yeah, the burn pits.
Burn pits. Thank you, burn pits. And no, it's just that. That's why I couldn't. Bullshit. He was already starting to have cognitive issues then, and that's what kept him from running in 2016.
Real quickly, thank you, Cryptic, from 4 days ago when we were off the air. He said, I heard the S word comment. My eyes are so slanted that dental floss is my blindfold. Beat that, Roof.
He's allowed to make those jokes, YouTube. He is an Asian man.
Yes.
I thought Bo was his only child. You would get that. You would think that if all you did was listen to him, because even when Trump was clearly talking about Hunter during the 2016 or sorry 2020 debates. He's like, "How dare you? My son died in Iraq." I'm like, no, Joe, the other one.
None of them died in Iraq, Joe.
That's true. That's true. He loves to talk about how his son died in Iraq, but he didn't. All right. Enough of this wonderful picture, which will, I'm sure, be making a comeback throughout the campaign. I want to start with this video. And actually, we're not watching the video on this one. This is MSNBC. No, just NBC. Sorry, I want to make sure I get that right. Just NBC. Nobody seems to want Kamala, which is weird because she is their best chance right now. You guys got to understand this. We're not that far from the election. We're starting August. You have August, September, and October. The election's the first week of November. They have 3 months. That's it. Thank you, Snubber. PressSec is claiming deep fakes, LOL. On what? How funny would it be if it turns out Biden didn't actually do that and this was all done behind his back? That would be
a lot of people speculated that.
Oh, hey, Scribbles. Well, I mentioned earlier, Jack Posobiec pointed out the presidential seal is not on the letter that was sent out.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. So something funny going on.
Yeah, at this point, the ball is rolling. And what I honest to God think happened is watching Megyn Kelly, they give all the credit to Nancy Pelosi. I don't know if it was Pelosi. I don't think Pelosi is that with it anymore herself. But somebody powerful. Oh, thank you, Snubber. His stutters, I believe. Oh, no, those are, I get what you're saying. Yeah, those were not cheap fakes at all. But somebody powerful in the Democratic Party told him, look, either you drop out or we're going to have to come out against you. And we will let everybody know the reason that we lost to Donald Trump and why so many people lost their seats, why we lost so many down ballot votes is because of you. We will destroy your name.
Yeah. Dr. Jill is very concerned about his legacy. So she wants to preserve her own. And of course, Joe is too when he's lucid. But
that he is, we mentioned this so many times. He is such a fucking egotistical piece of shit.
Yeah. Real quickly, thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. So apparently Hunter has also dropped his lawsuit against Fox News. I saw that, and I'm not surprised because it wasn't going to go anywhere anyway, but it was one of those face-saving measures.
And Biden endorsed Kamala as an FU to the party. Well, there's a couple of weird things that happen. This letter is sent out to the press, but the announcement is actually made on Twitter. How much did that piss off Democrats? That's amazing. It wasn't on Facebook. It wasn't on what's that child porn place they like? Mastodon. No, Mastodon.
Mastodon. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's easy to get confused.
You can see where my mistake was.
Indeed. But it was made on Twitter, this platform that, how dare you? That's that fucking right-wing Elon Musk's place. Thank you, Metal Minister. No one wants Kamala standing upright, you mean? Several men were fine with her otherwise. Or so we've heard.
Yeah,
we don't know. They might have done it standing up. You can do that.
I mean, it's a little more difficult, I hear. It depends on how tall they are. Excuse me.
And how long your wiener is, because that helps. Just saying. But the fact that it came out on Twitter, the fact that it doesn't have the seal, the fact that Biden didn't come out and make a statement publicly. Remember, he has the COVID though, guys, because he said he wasn't going to drop out unless, Jesus told him to, or, he could, if I get sick, and then magically he got COVID.
Yeah. Mysteriously got COVID and had to go to his beach house where his gardener, Jesus, told him, you should drop out.
Yeah. That COVID is a bitch. And so I guess you could say, oh, he still got the COVID. he went out and gave a debate with that cold that he himself thought was COVID. Remember that?
Yeah.
After the debate, he goes on to George Stephanopoulos, and Stephanopoulos is like, well, why'd you have such a bad day? And Joe goes, I had a cold, you see, and I even asked my doctor, is it COVID? And then magically he gets COVID a few days later.
I don't know how he got COVID because he's had all the vaccinations and he
I
said
don't
that
know.
wasn't possible.
All right, so MSN. Again, I keep doing that. This is just NBC. Just they're under the same main umbrella, but they do operate slightly independent from each other. So this is NBC. Democratic contenders. Now, Kamala's the first one there, and I'm telling you guys right now, all of these people are like, it's not going to be Kamala. They do not have the time to have somebody else.
If they really try to have some sort of primary type runoff in the DNC, it's going to waste too much time.
It really is. And what they need to be doing is fighting against Donald Trump. Where's Beto? Beto's not a serious contender. I wish to God he was. I really do.
Oh, that's hilarious. Where's Beto?
Have we seen proof of life? Not really. I mean, nothing that we can point to and say, yeah, that's actually Biden. But so here's NBC's choices. Kamala Harris, Andy Beshear, who is the governor of Kentucky, Pete Buttigieg, who is the man who needed 3 months of maternity leave after he adopted children, Roy Cooper of North Carolina, that's the governor, Governor Wes Moore of Maryland, Governor Gavin Newsom of California, Governor J.B. Pritzker out there in Illinois, Governor Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania, and Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan. It is kind of interesting to me that there's no senators on this list.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, typically your presidents, the last president on the DNC side who came from the pool of governors was Clinton. Since then, it's been Biden and Obama, who were both senators.
Yeah.
They're not even looking at the Senate. All right, let's check these off. I think Governor Whitmer is going to be Kamala's running mate. It's possible Buttigieg will be. They're going to go for the ultimate DEI ticket, brown woman and gay man.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is those are my top two as well. Whitmer because she's from a swing state, and then they could say the all woman ticket. But Buttigieg would be the culmination of their brainwash nonsense.
All right, we can cross some of these right off. You can cross off Cooper. You can cross off Moore. You can cross off Pritzker because they have no chance in hell. They don't even really have a party presence. Yeah. Yes, they're governors of their state, but nobody talks about them outside of their state. Nobody gives a shit about them. Dark Resurrect, thank you for that feminist $12. Also, by their own logic, would this not also be considered an insurrection or a coup at the very least? Absolutely would. Since they have just invalidated all of the early votes for Biden. Not just all of the early votes, the votes. Remember, they went all the way through the primary process. There are no other states that are voting in the primary.
Well, very democratically.
Yes, he is the Democrat. This is what should have happened. Biden should have stepped down and stayed in the race. That's how it should have happened. He is the nominee. And they're absolutely bucking democracy here.
Oh, that they don't give a shit about democracy. We both know that. But at the same time, there are people that have already voted. Aren't there? Like people got absentee ballots.
Early voting has begun in some places. Yeah.
Yeah. So not only did they fuck over everybody in the primaries, and now they're just coronating someone.
Or if the votes haven't actually been done, the ballots that they got don't have an option for anybody but Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this really this is unprecedented because nobody's ever dropped out this late in the game before.
No.
LBJ is the only other one that's really dropped out per se, but that was before the 68 convention, if I remember correctly.
He did. He dropped out long before that. This will come up in one of the videos we're going to watch. I believe it's from Axelrod who brings it up. But I have been mentioning the 68 election for quite a while.
Yeah, it's starting to really look like that.
The 68 election, while LBJ had dropped out, I mean, this has similarities because the night Bobby Kennedy is shot and killed, he dies a couple of days later, but basically he was killed that night.
Yeah.
But the night he's shot and killed, he had basically wrapped up the nomination. He was the guy. That's why they were recording and why it was such a. They didn't record like every state he won. This was the thing. He wins California. That is basically putting him as the party leader, and he gets shot and killed that night. And this is kind of the same thing, except for Biden died like 2 years ago.
Yeah, this is totally a Weekend at Bernie's thing.
It really is.
Real quick, let me grab a couple of things here. Thank you, Biden Dippity, which I suppose is like serendipity, but forgetful. Oh, come on, man. Jill doesn't want to change my diaper in public dress systems. Systematically initiating change. I need to be changed. Use more powder this time, mommy. Anyway. Well, thank you for that, Biden Dippity. And thank you, Evolved Potato. You're both forgetting the best candidate for VP, the forever governor of Georgia, Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams, there you go.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Okay, so we can cross off Moore, Pritzker, and Cooper. That leaves us with Shapiro and Bashir, who have some party presence, but they do not have near the name recognition, so they're both out. Buttigieg, some people remember him from 2020, and occasionally his name comes up when there's something horrific going on with transportation.
Yeah.
So not him either. It really comes down to Whitmer, Newsom, and Harris if you're looking at who could run the ticket. Newsom is not popular outside of California.
No,
and he
not
has
at all.
Way too many, what's the word I'm looking for here? Controversial bills that have been signed out there in California for him to run as a serious contender anywhere.
He's one of those people that hardcore leftists think is popular, but he's not because they're completely out of touch.
Does the VP need name recognition? We're talking about who's going to be the number one on the ticket right now, not who Kamala's VP will be. I mentioned that I think it will be Gretchen Whitmer, but the overall conversation here, in case people were confused, this is who's going to run the ticket, and they absolutely need name recognition.
Yeah,
which does bring us down to Harris and Whitmer, and it's a numbers game. Whitmer is big within politics, and people love her here in Michigan for reasons I can't explain. I honestly don't. I have no idea why that woman's. I do actually, because she came out, so she loves killing babies.
Yeah, and old people.
And apparently, there's a lot of people who love killing babies in Michigan. So, on the national stage, though, she just doesn't have the name recognition, and more importantly, access to Joe's money.
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to have to keep Harris at the top of the ticket simply because of timing. They only have 106 days or so.
Yep, 3 months. That's all they got.
Yeah, so that's all they've got to get this in. And I don't know if they expect her to be able to beat Trump, but they have to put up somebody, and she might just be the sacrificial lamb, and they could run Whitmer next time around. But I think Harris is going to be the top of the ticket, and either Whitmer or Buttigieg is going to be the VP pick.
Thank you, Jill Biden, who says, "Oh, indeed, indeed." Thank you, Jill. Yeah, so of these 9 people, honestly, only one of them can be the head of the ticket. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
They could fuck around and be like, you know what, give it to Andy Bashir. This is a throwaway year, but if you were going to do that, you might as well keep Biden in there. Travis Gardner, thank you. 1968 similarities, DNC convention in Chicago. Candidates shot during campaign stops. Incumbent dropping out. A Kennedy running. Yeah, I mean, there's not just a Kennedy, a Bobby Kennedy running.
Yeah, history does have a rhyme to it, so.
So yeah, there's a lot of similarities going on with 68. And not only that, rumor has it, Jack, there's a bunch of anarchists. Come on. Anarchists on their way to Chicago to cause chaos during the convention.
Yeah, right. Look, we haven't seen real anarchists since the punk era in the 80s, maybe early 90s.
Yeah.
The anarchists of today think that communism light is anarchy. Idiots.
Whitmer's the safe choice for the swamp. No, actually, Kamala's the safe choice for the swamp. Whitmer, old wretch there, she probably would be a safe bet for them as well, but Kamala will do anything to get power. This is a woman who sucked her way into power in California. Sleeping with a married man in Willie Brown, for anybody who's questioning, that's a real thing. I don't call her a hoe because she's a woman. I call her a hoe because she's a whore. She's a dirty slut.
I do it for both.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's fair. But she sucks her way into power then, and then she runs for president and calls Biden a racist. I was the little girl that wouldn't get picked up on the bus because of racism. And then she went to work for that dude.
It was a debate.
She has sold out her body and her soul to get power.
Yeah, and she's not real smart. Her creepy laugh. She's a stooge, and she's a useful puppet. She'll go along to get along, so she'll go whatever way Chuck Schumer and Jeffries wants.
Matt Jarbo's very surprised and shocked Biden stepped down. How does Matt turn out to be so wrong every time? Of course he is, because he's a fucking retard.
Yeah, it takes practice.
Thank you, Black Dynamite, who says Kamala has a strong chance of winning. She plans to suck off every male voter. With that kind of power, she's a considerable threat to Trump. Now, people won't. She'd have to do it on a weekly basis. And even I don't think, as thick as her throat is from the buildup in there, I don't think she could take that much.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Thank you, Dangerous. How rude of Biden to overlook his VP Trump and go for Kamala instead. Thoughts on the theory they know they are going to lose and they're trying not to burn a good future candidate, hence Kamala. I kind of floated that same idea earlier today, and I'll speak on it in a second. Thank you so much, Prince of Cats, for the sticker with the heart. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's very, very kind. I think they know they're going to lose.
Yeah.
Could Kamala win? Yeah, but technically so could I. I actually said that to somebody today. They didn't think that was funny, but it's true. I'm able to run for the presidency. You guys can vote for me if you want to. I'm legally eligible to be the president. I have no criminal record. The worst I've ever had is a speeding ticket. I am above the age of 35. I was born in San Diego after we took it from the Mexicans. So I could be president. I'm not going to be, and neither is Kamala. I think right now what they're doing is they are trying to save. This is why the powers that be came down. It's not because they're worried about losing the presidency. They're really not that worried about that. What they're worried about is losing the House and the Senate.
Yes.
They are, I almost said cunt hair. They're a cunt hair away from winning the House back. And they don't have a firm grasp on the Senate. I think there's 10 seats that are considered up for grabs this year between the Democrats and Republicans. And it was starting to show in the state polling that Biden was dragging down the down ballot candidates, your senators, your governors, your representatives, to where people are like, I'm just not voting at all because look what you guys have. And that's why they pushed him out, because they know the real power. Yes, the president is a powerful man, but when it comes to passing legislation and stuff, that happens in the House and the Senate. Real change happens in the House and Senate. And they really do not want to lose those races. And so that's why they're like, all right, Biden's got to go. Nothing else makes sense. Can we talk for a minute about all of this? You know what? Anything else you want to say about the perspective picks here?
No, I agree with you. Overall, I think.
What do you think in VP?
Uh, I think it's either going to be Whitmer or Buttigieg.
Because they're probably going to lose, and they know that Whitmer will be out of politics for a few years before she could run in 2028, because she can't run for re-election and she has to step down in 2026.
Yeah.
I think they'll let her have a Hail Mary try right there. I could see Buttigieg too, because neither one of them is really that electable.
Yeah.
I could even see them, pushing Gavin just to get him out of the way.
I could see that. I don't think he'd settle for VP. He'd want to be top of the ticket.
Yeah.
But then that financially hurts them. And Kamala's already raising money.
Yep.
So I think that would be a no-go.
In the Veep stakes, I'm kind of split. I really do think it's going to be Whitmer because they've been pushing her so hard. But as the throwaway, I could see them going with the gay guy.
Yeah.
And that way they can claim, hey, look, we also had the first gay candidate for vice president.
And Trump messed it up because he's a bigot.
That fucking bigot.
Before we move on, let me grab a couple of chats here. Thank you, Travis Gardner. Look, it's the asshole in me, but I want the DNC to have 68 style riots. Oh, Willie Brown has Jim Jones connections. Jones helped him get elected. That's true. Jim Jones did. And thank you, Frosty Glass. This reminds me of The Lion in Winter, where Peter O'Toole plays an aging Henry II, and everybody's fighting over who will be his successor. Great movie, also Anthony Hopkins' first movie role. The part where Bigfoot raped that girl was surprising, though. Yeah, that was a twist you just don't see coming in those Shakespearean-type tragedies.
All right, so here's Biden getting off the plane, the video I was talking about. But Caitlin Collins, that's her name, right? That woman freaks me out. I don't understand why her mouth starts like 3 inches on each side before her lips do.
I don't know. Maybe it's a seduction technique.
It's hard to, and if you look at her in the insert right there, she kind of has like an eagle look to her, and not like a bald eagle, but like one of those foreign eagles. The kind that looks like a buzzard, but they call it an eagle. But we're gonna get to listen to Van Jones here.
Awful.
I'm sorry, but it's true.
Oh, you're not wrong. It's just an awful thing to say.
I don't want to spoil it. We just have to listen.
Reporting about conversations between President Biden and Vice President Harris. I want to go back to CNN's Priscilla Alvarez, who is covering all of this from Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Priscilla, what are you learning?
Caitlin, I'm told by a source that President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris spoke today. It's unclear.
I'm very curious about that part right there. I'm told the president and vice president spoke today. We were told many times over the last several weeks that they speak every day.
Yeah.
She's part of it, you guys. She's involved in the administration, and they're saying this like they haven't spoke to each other in a month, and they're like, oh yeah, they finally talked. Of all potato, thank you. Why would they brag about the first gay VP candidate when they already had the first gay presidential candidate and president with Barack and Michael? Because it would still be a first. Even though we had a gay president, we haven't had a gay vice president, and they love their first. That's why.
That's true.
The first gay president or VP candidate who only sleeps with Asian people will also be a thing. The first gay president or vice president who only wears purple on Thursdays will be a thing, because they need their
down
first.
To like the first foot fetishist, and
yeah,
they already had the luggage thief, so that's covered.
The first one who came out in high school. I mean, they love their first. Anyway,
exactly at what time they spoke. Remember, the president put out his letter publicly that he would not seek re-election earlier this afternoon. But
that is another interesting thing, is the timing of this.
Mm-hmm.
It comes out midday.
Yeah, it was real weird timing on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really a bizarre time to drop stuff. Also, why did it take him 2 hours to endorse Kamala?
Prospero says, shut up, we don't need Swalwell. Well played, young lady. Because I don't think at the time that the letter is written, I don't think Biden had much to say about the letter. I really don't. But go ahead, Jack.
Thank you, Biden. Proofread warning. Okay. I hope Kamala gets my job. So just so when she talks to the National Aeronautics Space Administration, she has to say, yes, NASA.
Nice. Damn, that's yeah. I mean, is it really different than her, working for Joe Biden, who she thinks is a racist?
Not really, no.
She'll just be saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the timing of this, midday, news breaks early morning and late afternoon. Typically, the beginning or the end of the workday. It doesn't break on a Sunday very often. It breaks on Mondays or Fridays. Occasionally we'll get a Wednesday. Look, you can't help it if something actually happens, but the timing of this was really, really strange.
Oh, absolutely.
And for anybody who thinks I'm like being really weird or nitpicky about that, you have to understand these people focus test this stuff.
Usually. I don't know how much this was tested.
No, I don't. Not necessarily the main decisions, but like when you put this stuff out, you do it to influence the media cycle.
Yeah, that's why bad stuff gets dumped on a Friday and important stuff happens on Monday or Tuesday, so it's in the cycle for a while.
All right, back to this chick. I don't even care who she is.
President made clear after that letter that he was putting all of his support behind Vice President Kamala Harris to be the Democratic nominee. And also,
I still want to point this out and make this clear, because she's like, the president made sure to come out and he hasn't. According to his letter, which we read on the show earlier today, he's going to talk to the nation about this later in the week. Sure, Joe. But we haven't heard anything from him. We got a letter and we got a tweet, and we know damn good and well he does not run his own Twitter account.
Oh, yes, he does. He totally does. Nut judge, wink, wink, cough, cough.
And it's not like they sent out another official letter, to like press and everything. It was just a fucking tweet. Anyway.
Calling on the party to come together. Now, the vice president was on the trail yesterday. She was at a fundraiser in Massachusetts, where, again, she was defending the administration's record and also trying to underscore the stakes of the election. It was a fundraiser that brought in more than $2 million. Today, however, she was back in Washington, D.C. at her residence and with her staff. So this latest reporting is that the president and the vice president have spoken. That, according,
it took her almost a full minute to repeat that they spoke. That's not really news. I'm more interested if they spoke yesterday, or more importantly, if you guys watched the show earlier, how much they spoke last weekend. And Jack, just a quick rundown on that. They had to do this today because they had talked. If you remember last week, there was all this talk about by Sunday, they're going to make a decision. Sunday. They kept talking about it and nothing happened. But you had Trump get shot on Saturday, and then you had the RNC all throughout the week. So any bump Kamala might get from this would have been muted immediately. So they wait until after the RNC, they let that die down a little bit, and then they drop this. Thank you, Frosted. The $2 million was left on the nightstand. Yeah, her jaws are sore as shit. She got home and she kissed her husband and he went, salty.
This tastes familiar.
To a source who I spoke with, we're still trying to get more information as to what that conversation looked like and when exactly it happened, but significant all the same.
Not really.
Yeah, of course, and also fascinating to learn.
This is the problem with the 24/7 news cycle. They have so much time to fill that she's like, yeah, we're trying to figure out how long they talked and, what they were wearing and whether or not Joe had his aviators on. They had a conversation. Their conversation today, the only way it's significant is if she called Joe and went, motherfucker, where was my name in that release? That's the only way. Otherwise, this was business as normal. There is no way that Kamala Harris found out today that Joe was dropping out. She knew last week when the insiders did. I can't believe they let him go through with that Lester Holt interview knowing he was done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe that was just to solidify to the public that, yeah, this old man's done.
All right, Mexican Eagles coming up on the screen again.
Obviously, you expect him to speak with the vice president.
Look at that shit. Why does her lips start there and her mouth starts way over here?
I don't know. It's like she's always doing duck lips.
And her eyes are dead. Look at
she might be an alien, like one of the lizard people from V.
This is a woman who has a career because she took out Don Lemon. Y'all know that, right? Don Lemon gets the show with her and the other chick, and apparently she sucks dick better than the other chick because when it all blows up and Lemon gets fired, she gets the nightly show. She got a major. I'm wondering just how badly Don Lemon. Have we ever considered Don Lemon's not actually gay?
I mean, I think we may have talked about it, but probably not on the stream.
Because she gets this massive, going from the morning program to one of your nightly breaking news hosts. That is a major promotion. And she got it because of how mean he was to her. And if you read the stories of it, he maybe yelled a little bit.
But Don Lemon, mean to a woman.
Don Lemon, closeted straight man. I'm telling you, I think he's straight. I really do. And I think he grabbed her by the vagina and that's why she got the big promotion. But anyway.
Threatened to out him as a straight man.
Yeah. She has that absolutely horrible town hall with Donald Trump where he made her look like a complete idiot and she still gets this promotion.
Yeah, made her look like an idiot.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Thank you, Dangerous. This being released on Sunday was weird. Maybe Joe didn't know what day it was. Why did it take 2 hours before Joe endorsed Kamala? A stutter. Caitlin's eyebrows creep me out. Just me? It's not just her eyebrows. It's her eyes. Her eyes are dead. I mean, look at that. There's no life in there.
Yeah, I think she's got a unibrow and shaves it.
She kind of looks like she's half drunk.
Or half sober, depending on is the glass half full kind of thing.
About this, Priscilla, keep us updated on what you're learning about this. We also have Van Jones joining us. He is CNN's senior political commentator. And
have you seen any of this?
No.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Former Obama administration official. And Van, obviously, you and I were talking a lot about this dynamic and how this was ultimately going to play out when we were covering the Republican convention in Milwaukee last week. And with this news, this entire campaign has just upended itself.
The entire campaign technically ended, not just upended, but all right. I've seen several people say something to that effect. This upended the campaign. No, actually, technically it ended the campaign because Biden was the fucking candidate.
Yeah.
It upended the election. She's not that smart, though.
Yeah. There's a lot of political stuff. The Democratic Party is fair.
Speaking of gay black men.
Yeah, I guess some stuff happened.
This is
I don't
actually
know.
tragic to watch, dude.
Family. At the end of the day, this is a family matter. You know, Joe Biden's body may not be as strong as it used to be. His language skills may not be as sharp as they used to be. His heart is as big as ever.
I don't know if you guys can see it very well on the screen here, but his eyes are bloodshot as fuck.
He looks like he's been crying.
He has been, and he's not done.
Oh my god! If Joe Biden's heart is as big as ever, he should probably get that looked at. That doesn't sound healthy.
He's got an enlarged heart, you guys.
His heart is as big and
His acting is so crappy. Jen, he's not acting. This dude is fucking devastated.
as true and as strong. And this is the difference between a politician and a leader.
Not gonna lie to you, Caitlin. I've been day drinking a little bit and crying all morning because I know Kamala's gonna find a way to fuck this up, and it's just so depressing.
This is so bad. Oh, sorry. Here we go.
He made a selfless decision, and people are hard.
Stop. Nope. This was not a selfless decision.
Not even close.
I've seen so many people. Joe Biden basically took one for the team today, you guys. That's how much he loves this country. Bullshit. If that was his intent, if he was doing, it would have happened before this election.
Yeah, and if he cared about this country, why did he take all that money from China and Ukraine?
This was an act to save his own skin.
Yes, to save his reputation, his historical legacy.
Night, Prospero. Have a good one, sweetie.
Night, Prospero. Hey, before Prospero leaves, I wanted to get this point out. Do you think the Joe Biden library is just going to be like a dementia ward?
It should be. It's going to be nothing but Where's Waldo books so that people can have an idea of what it was like to be Joe Biden. Just can't find anything.
I have a bunch of pictures of his time in Scranton, and it'll be like an empty photo album.
Yes. It'll have all of his time driving truck. Don't forget that one.
Oh, yeah. His Puerto Rican politics and getting arrested during the civil rights movement.
Hanging out with the porch people.
Yeah, we gotta be careful how we phrase that one.
It'll just be nonsense. But anyway, I do want to say this because Van is really upset here, and the one grace that I will give these people, Jack, is if you do have a family member going through this kind of stuff, it's not easy to watch.
No,
it's not easy to deal with. And some of these people genuinely do like Joe Biden. We all know he's a douchebag, but they know him personally. And it can be hard for them.
Yeah, watching somebody that you care about deeply fade away from you and not remember things, important things that you always say, oh, I'd never forget that. No, you could. And I see it firsthand every day for several hours a day. I spend about 8 hours a day dealing with this by myself. And me and my sister have to face this every single day. And it is horrific. And it's not a fate I'd wish on anyone. Except maybe pedophiles, but they're not humans. They're monsters. But it's very difficult to see that. And I think a lot of people who didn't believe that he had dementia before are starting to come around, and it's starting to affect them. So maybe Van, I'm pretty sure Van Jones does know Biden personally because he was friends with Obama and probably had to deal with Joe's shenanigans.
Oh, no, not just had to. He worked for Joe.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he worked on Joe's staff.
Oh, I didn't know that. I probably forgot because I hate Van Jones. I think he's a douchebag.
He is.
But yeah, it's hard to see somebody, especially if you've been away for a while and haven't directly interacted with them, and then you come back and see just how bad they are. He probably did have a conversation or something with Joe and figured it out, but it can be incredibly difficult to deal with.
Thank you, Joe Biden. Look here, fat. My presidential library will feature the largest collection of scratch and sniff books in history. And they'll all be children scratch and sniff. This one smells like a Sally. Here's the other part of that, though. I don't believe for a second that these people are that delusional. Joe is. Van Jones is not. Van Jones has seen Biden on the campaign trail in 2020. He's seen him as the president for the last 3.5 years. And if you really were this worried about him, and you really do care enough to be crying, you should have been up there going, this man should be in a home.
Yeah. I think the best thing Trump could do if Harris is the nominee is to hammer her on the debate.
Yes.
Say, why did you let Joe continue down this horrific road that he was on without getting him help? And you are culpable in this.
Remember, she supposedly talks to him daily. And she's been out there going, hey, he's great. I'm with him in the situation room, which is scary as shit.
Yeah.
And he's all there. There's no issue with him whatsoever. If there was no issue with Joe, they do not push him out because he is their best chance to beat Trump. I don't think he could beat Trump, but he is their best chance. He's the fucking incumbent president.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dangerous. I'm not going to lie. Caitlin proceeds to do nothing but lie. The way Van Jones is talking sounds like he's auditioning to be Eeyore in the new Winnie the Pooh series. Holy shit, it's depressing. Again, there's two different sides of it. There is the side that, I mean, he does know him personally, and that's hard. And now the whole world, they just had to basically come out and go, yeah, this guy has dementia.
Yeah. It's really tragic that they waited this long. Like,
it is.
Biden could fall over dead at any time. He is really far gone.
Mm-hmm.
But these people have done nothing up to this point, and I have no doubt that they are using him as a pawn. But they probably do feel bad. I'd be willing to bet that Biden's a lot sicker than they're letting on too. Like, oh, it's COVID, air quotes.
Look how long we know. It's not even a question. Reagan absolutely had Alzheimer's while he was still in office.
Yeah.
Like the last 2 or 4 years, I forget which. But it was still enough that they could hide it mostly. Biden has gotten to the point that they literally cannot hide it. He is gone, guys.
He can't even read a teleprompter
on
a video.
He's mad at the fucking teleprompter. Why are there words on here?
Yeah. Why are they so mean to me in the words? No, he called it the battle box. He called Trump his VP. What he called Trump something else too that made no sense.
He said, what was it? He meant to say like a real president like Trump or something like that, and he referred to it in a strange way where he's like calling Trump a thing kind of. I forget the exact wording. We talked about it when it happened.
Yeah, but that was a video that wasn't even live.
Yeah,
and that's the best take they could come with. That's how bad this is.
The day after or 2 days after, one of those two, after the debate, they had the White House put out a video, clearly an edited video, and he was slurring in it.
Yeah.
That's how bad he is. But anyway, back to Van here.
Broken. Even people who are pushing for this to happen, it's kind of like when your grandpa, you got to take the keys, and everybody, you got to take his keys, you got to take his keys, you got to, and he's fighting, and everybody's so frustrated, and then you finally get the keys back, and then you just cry.
Van, if you'd been calling for the keys back for the last 3.5 years, I would actually feel bad for you right now.
Yeah, I'd give you some credit too.
But
you haven't been doing that, have you, Van?
You've been running interference for him instead. You've been going, Grandpa's driving fine.
Yeah, I mean, shit, he did drive his Corvette not that long ago.
Him falling off the bike, when it was stationary and all he had to do was lift his leg a little bit. Hey, you guys are lying about him being all fucked up. This is the difference. It's why I wanted to point out, you know, the part I really do believe Van is upset by this. He's not acting here. He's upset because he knows this man and he sees how bad he is. But you could see it all along and you didn't say shit, so go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
We were the ones, me and you, people who don't like Joe Biden, before he ever became president, like, this man needs to be in a home somewhere. He's done enough. Let him go fucking rest.
Well, and again, I'm going to harp on this point a lot. We were some of the first people to point that out. And it took other people months or years to get to that point.
Yep.
Like, how are you not seeing this when a stick man and a cartoon monkey could fucking figure this out?
And we weren't. Look, for all the jokes we've made, there is a genuineness there when me and Jack talk about that part. He didn't need to run for president. Whether you like what he's done or not, you can't argue that he hasn't been in public service for the last 40 years at that time, 48 years at that time. He'd done his time. And these people hated Trump so much. They're like, I know, let's abuse this elderly man.
Yeah.
And we're the bad people, Jack.
Yeah, we're the bad people for cracking a handful of jokes.
Yep.
It's pathetic. Elder abuse, no matter how much you don't like a person, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And this was absolutely elder abuse.
I do feel bad for Biden in the sense that I mean, he's a horrible person. He really is. But this is not something any family should have to deal with. It's just a horrible part of life for some people.
His family is full of parasites and leeches.
Yep. But they're the ones who did this. And this is why I don't have much sympathy for those people that like Van Jones, like Jill Biden, like the entirety of the mainstream media and the Democratic machine.
Yeah.
Fuck them all. They're the bad people here, not us. Anyway.
Because this is somebody that you love. This is somebody that you care about. This is somebody who was there for you. This is somebody you wouldn't be here without him.
Where was that loyalty when this man's been suffering for the last 3.5 years with this?
Yeah, if you really loved this guy, maybe you should have said, I don't think this is the right move, man.
Yeah.
And they come out and said, hey, he cannot do this.
If Joe Biden doesn't run in 2020 and today's news instead was former Vice President Joe Biden has announced he has Alzheimer's and these people were all crying about it, I would give him a little bit of grace there.
Yeah. Yeah, but unfortunately, they're not that good of people.
Nope.
And you have to take something from him. Now, this is not, look, this politics is politics, but this is a human moment for one of the great humans in America.
Joe Biden is a shitbag.
Yeah, he's always been a shitbag.
Joe
Most politicians are complete scum. So
he's a racist shitbag at that, Van.
All right.
Do you think Biden ever told Van he was clean?
No. Well, he might have. I don't know. He's like, why do you shave your head, Van? I want to sniff you and gain your power.
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. I don't know what you're talking about. He's fine. Repeat line, hold for laughter. Thank you so much. And Snubber, unlike Ginsburg, they gained no benefit torturing the old man. Well, they did because they wanted the presidency. And in Ginsburg's case, though, Ginsburg was old and frail and should have retired somewhere and just enjoyed her years. But we don't have any sign that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was demented. It was still all her choice.
Yeah.
And so I do see a little separation there. And Biden, I do believe a lot of it was his choice. But when these people are like that, especially early on, Jack, they're in denial about what's going on with them.
Oh, absolutely.
They don't even understand it because their brain is turning on them. The people who pushed Biden into this, Ruth was already a justice and had been for years. And she's like, I'm going to hang on and hopefully somebody with a D behind their name gets to replace me. it was still all her choice. She wasn't pushed into it. If she, I mean, I guess you could make the argument, Jack, that Obama asked her not to.
Yeah, I could see that.
But she should have retired probably back in 2012 and just enjoyed the twilight of her life.
You'd think so. Some people don't want to, though. They fight everything tooth and nail.
Meanwhile, Biden, you had a whole machine behind him, pushing him for that. Anyhow, let's get back to Cryboy here.
It's a huge moment for him, for his family, for all of us who love him, for all of us who wanted him to get across the finish line. But if you're a young person watching this, this is leadership.
What?
I don't think he knows what that word means.
Leadership? He basically screwed the party.
He definitely screwed him on this election cycle. Because honestly, if he was going to drop out, he should have done it in January when they had a lot more time to pick somebody and get him on the ballots for the primaries. And
take a look at 1992. Because you heard me talk just a little bit ago about the importance of name recognition. In 1992, you have a pretty big field of Democrats, some who have very big names. And the one that comes out as the winner is an unknown governor from fucking Arkansas. Bashir, Cooper, Moore, even Shapiro. These are all guys who, if they had the entire campaign season, might have gotten to the point of actually being a viable candidate for them.
yeah.
Biden, Mr. This is what leadership looks like. Fuck the Democrats. Thank you, Cult of Krill, for that feminist $12. What happens if Joe wakes up tomorrow and forgets he dropped out? It's not over. Joe, keep fighting. Yeah, I think Joe could come out on stage and be like, I never said that. And people would just be like, nah, bro, you're done. You're done. We have it in writing.
Not on official letterhead and with a possibly forged signature, but sure, you're done, dude.
Yes, I mean, theoretically, it could happen. Biden didn't say this himself. This isn't the LBJ moment where he comes out and is like, I have decided not to seek the nomination of my party. This was somebody mail a letter so this fucker just drops out. We'll force his hand.
Yeah. But again, they've only got 100 days to get a new candidate, get a strategy together, get a team together, and really push them.
I wonder how
the only thing Trump has to do is run against the Democrats. Like, look what they've done.
Yeah. Look how much they care about democracy.
Yeah, they're all hypocrites now because they can't run he's trying to destroy democracy, because he just has to say, oh, yeah, well, you took your democratically chosen candidate and waited until everybody was done voting for him and then flushed him.
Yep. Pirate says, I wonder how Jill's taking the news. Let's just say that when we see Biden next, he's going to be wearing his aviators to hide a black eye. She's beating up an old man right now.
Probably.
She's probably eating chocolate chip ice cream right in front of him, going, chocolate chip ice creams for winners, Joe. That's how she actually sounds, too.
Yeah.
My Jill Biden impression is off the hook.
It's fact. It is. No cap. It is a fire, yo.
Dangerous says, all of these journalists now saying, I've been a friend of Joe for years, shows they have always been bad journalists. Avoiding conflicts of interest is journalism 101. They deserve no sympathy now. Well, it is funny that Caitlin, she talks to Van Jones, and then she talks to this next guy, and then she talks to David Axelrod. These are all people who worked in the Obama administration.
Yeah.
The douchebag to CNN pipeline is real. And it's straight from the DNC, the douchebag National Committee, right on into CNN. Yeah.
Thank you, Travis Gardner. What forced him? Hillary and her friends, Smith and Wesson. I'm not ruling that out right now.
I don't think the Clintons had anything to do with this. I think Obama did. I think, like I said, a lot of people are putting this on Pelosi. Obama is still the person pulling the strings in the DNC. And I think especially the fundraiser where Obama had to go, hey, Joe, over here's where the off stage. Come on, boy. You can do it. I got a Scooby snack. I think at that moment, Obama realized how bad it was. And then you have the debate and it's like, yeah, he's got to go. I think this is all Obama's doing. If this was Clinton's doing, Biden's plane would have went down. Biden would have died in a plane crash on a plane he wasn't in. Anyhow.
But if you're a young person watching this is leadership.
No, it's not.
This is patriotism.
No, it's
this
not.
is what it means to put the country first. And
in his letter, he literally says, I need to do this for the party and the country. He put party even above the country in that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, are you shocked?
No, not even a little bit.
This is a good time to remind everybody that we are brought to you by you. If you're enjoying the show, please hit the like button, share it on your social media, and subscribe if you haven't. If you're capable and feeling generous, please toss us a couple bucks at the Streamlabs links going through the chat, pinned at the top of the chat, and in the description. We don't show very much anymore. So
Rick Ashbringer asks, where in the world is Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton put out a statement earlier today, which basically, Joe's a great guy, and then I support Kamala. If there's anybody who can appreciate a woman getting ahead by giving some, it's Bill Clinton.
That's true story.
put the party first and put the cost first. When your arm gets tired, you let somebody else finish pitching the game. That's what Joe Biden has done, and he's done that for all of us. And so
Joe told us he wasn't tired. If you're going to use
Right.
that metaphor, he was like, no, don't pull me, coach.
Real quick. Got two of them here. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. Remember, comrade, party before all else. That is how Democrats think collectively. So sadly, that it is a very appropriate statement. And thank you, Cult of Krill, for that feminist donation. I sure hope Kamala Harris doesn't have information that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. It'd be a shame if she got sad. Well, I think Hillary is backing her for now, but that could be a Julius Caesar moment where Hillary's like, I'm going to be the VP.
Subbed and hit that like button like an unwanted redheaded stepchild. I appreciate you just using the redheaded stepchild thing because that's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
We'll beat you like a redheaded stepchild. In fairness, redheads get beat by their real parents too. Dangerous says, he's been saying for weeks, I will not drop out. It's not suddenly sacrificial, Van. Not only has he been saying he wouldn't drop out, and this was, I saw somebody on Twitter point this out. He said, he'd only do it if Jesus came down. Maybe Kamala dressed up as Jesus. And Joe's just waking up and he's in that morning fog, right? And she's like, my son. And he's like, Lord, and drop out now.
Well,
I think that's probably what happened.
That is possible, but he might have just had like a hallucination on his own too.
Probably they could have done. Take any movie where somebody's played Jesus, right? And deep fake that shit and show it to him on video. Hire that guy from Fiverr. Remember him, the one that got PewDiePie in so much trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah, hire him. Joe, drop out.
She appeared as Thulsa Doom. Yeah, two serpents coming together over a sun and a moon.
Wow, Jesus, you laugh just like Kamala, indeed.
I don't know who's going to be the VP, the non-VP. I don't know anything about politics. I just know that I love this man.
I don't know anything about politics. Your job is literally a political consultant on CNN.
Yeah. Yeah. At least he can admit that he's terrible at his job.
But listen to what he says.
To be the VP, the non-VP.
I don't know who'll be the VP or the non-VP. The fuck is a non-VP?
I don't know. He's their senior political commentator.
It literally says it on the screen. I don't know anything about politics.
Looks like they hired one of us, but we would at least know what the non-VP role is.
I don't know anything about politics. I just know that I love this man. I care about this man. It was painful every day to sit up here and talk about him like he's just some problem for the party. Wait till we get to the convention. You're gonna.
Why wasn't it painful to you for the last 3.5? Actually, the last probably 5 years.
Yeah,
because this goes. He gets in the election in 2019. Why wasn't it painful to you then, Van? Because you are a political shitbag. Why do you love him? Because they work together. He actually knows them. There's a personal connection there. And I can't deny people that. I really do understand that there are people who have genuine love for this man. Van Jones, for all we know, is one of those black kids who was rubbing on Joe's floating white people hair way back in the day.
Ew.
And he's loved him ever since then.
Going to see people crying, standing, screaming, cheering. He may not get a chance to talk for 10 minutes. We finally get a chance to put our arm around this guy. He did the right thing for this country.
Wait. Hey, Van. If you guys drag out Joe Biden onto the DNC stage, do not hoot and holler for 10 fucking minutes at a man with dementia. It's mean.
Yeah, it will scare him because he will continually not know where he's at every few moments.
If you watch what happened at that fundraiser, the Clooney fundraiser, Biden gets up and it's when the audience starts losing its shit that he freezes. That's when he freezes and Obama has to come over like, over here, Joe. Come on.
Come on, boy. Come on.
Who's a good boy? Come on.
Do you think that when they said that the dog bit those Secret Service agents, they really meant Joe Biden was biting people?
It could have been.
He didn't get his shots that month. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Oh my God, he didn't say stick with Kamala and you'll get ahead. He said stick with Kamala and you'll get head.
It's just true. Depending on who you are.
If you're lucky enough,
Kamala's biggest problem right now, honestly, is that she can't just suck off somebody to get ahead. This is the top job. There's no boss for him. She can blow whoever's running the DNC to get their approval, but that doesn't get you the actual job.
That's true.
Anyway,
did the right thing for this party. All of us are going to be in this situation someday, and I hope that we take.
Not everybody gets fucking dementia.
No, my dad's older than Biden. He's doing pretty good mentally.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. Everybody's going to be here one day. No, that's not true. But he keeps doing that. He did it for the party. He did what's best for the party. How can you say that with where you are right now? You don't even know who your nominee is now. 3 months before the general election, you guys have to be like, pick somebody. He did what was right for the party. I cannot lower my or heighten my voice enough to sound as gay as Van does here.
Yeah, it is kind of gay.
Yeah, this is and not suck a dick gay, just like gay.
Either way on that one.
I've heard him speak when he's not like this, and he doesn't sound gay. As Joe said, or would say, if he could use words again, he sounds clean and articulate most of the time.
That's true.
What comes out is retarded, but he can speak.
Has he taken an HIV test?
No, he wears a mask when he bangs dudes, so he's not going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
He listened to Fauci back in the 80s. Yeah, I believe in Fauci.
A moment to honor this man and to love this man. I love Joe Biden. I appreciate what he's done. And a lot of people are heartbroken today, even if it's.
Is it just me, or is he starting to grow a Gorbachev right in the middle of his head here?
That might just be like a red spot from him being emotional, because you get like that blood flow.
It's really dark just in the center there in a little V shape, which TV
that
taught
might
me
be his
means
hairline.
Way down here, though?
I mean,
He's not Caitlyn. That's not
have you
where
seen-
his eyebrows start.
Have you seen Eddie Munster?
Yeah, I feel you. But even his doesn't come way down here.
I don't know.
And it's bald up here. I mean, it's a V, it's an actual V.
Oh, maybe he was in some sort of sexual thing where they put like Roman numerals on each other's foreheads before they go banging strangers. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but
All right, that's enough of listening to Van cry. And tell us how great Biden is. He did what was right for the party. Are you out of your fucking mind? Nobody in the DNC should be happy with Biden over this. He fucked them.
Yeah, he did. They're probably going to lose the election anyway, but they're definitely going to lose it by a lot more now if Kamala is the nominee, I think. Glory hole abrasion. Jesus.
All right, we got to go back to the...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, man, I hate this woman. I really think that the Democrats, unless they fortify things with their party a little more, that they are really screwed if they don't hurry up and get going with a candidate like now. They better have a plan in place within the next 48 hours. They have no time to screw around on this.
At this point, what's the DNC? It's the DNC convention is
September?
3 more weeks away. It's at the end. It's sometime in August. It's at the end of August.
August?
Yeah.
Oh,
and they have no idea who's speaking the last 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to have somebody by the end of that convention. But I think even that's too late. They have to have somebody now. And Kamala's already raising money. So I'm pretty sure she's going to end up being the nominee and whoever they add on. But if it's Kamala, she's a loser. She can't win.
She is. No, look, abortion, like this campaign.
Yeah, abortions, Venn diagrams,
and
electric buses.
Joe didn't step down. He aborted his candidacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
right. We're leaving the past in the past. And what's that phrase she keeps using? You know what I'm talking about? Untethered.
Yeah, unburdened by the past. It's unburdened by the past, but I forget the first part of it. I can look forward to the future, unburdened by the past, or some shit like that. I know the unburdened by the past part is real because I watched her say it like 9 different times on Megyn Kelly's show today.
Yeah,
she's talking about Kamala, and they kept showing clips, and then they get to the one where she's talking about electric vehicle, or specifically electric school buses. And at the end, when they stop playing it, Megyn just has her head in her hands going, no. It's fucking amazing. Can see what can be, unburdened by what has been. Thank you. That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
I knew it was something stupid and pseudo-intellectual.
I knew the unburdened part again just because she said it so many times. Anyhow, back to Caitlyn. By the way, your jacket is ugly as shit. And the way you have your shirt open like that, you look like a guy in the 70s trying to pick up chicks. Just saying.
Well,
I expect lots of chest hair right there. She got a little gold medallion on.
Oh my God. Are we sure she's not a dude?
I'm willing to believe she's got a vagina. I'm just not sure that it's you know, yeah. Anyhow,
I want to bring in CNN's senior political commentator and former senior advisor to.
I thought Van Jones was the senior political advisor.
No, he's the senior political commentator.
Commentator, okay. And so they got advisors and commentators, and probably a couple of pundits and piss ants as well.
President Barack Obama, David Axelrod here.
Oh, real quick, before we get into this, let's take a moment and have fun. So, Jack, I got to see my daughter's youngest daughter this weekend. They were up, and I was asleep, and the little one came in, and she says this to me: Grandpa, do you want to get up now or later? And I looked at her and I said, what do you want, honey? What do you want me to do? And she says to me, I want you to tell me if you want to get up now or later. That just popped into my mind for reasons I can't explain. I just thought it was funny, and it was an amazing moment in my life, and that's real love. I just love.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me what I asked you, dumbass.
I want you to answer the question. By the way, we've had a semi-adventure at Mom's house.
Oh yeah,
that I feel like I need to share right now. See, a couple of mice were getting in.
Oh yeah,
and I killed like 4 of them at the point of entry, right? But there's this big fat mouse that I was hoping wasn't pregnant that was running around the living room and confounding Rico to no end, because we got the dog for a month, right? Because he couldn't go to Japan. That's a whole fiasco in itself. I think I told you about.
Yep.
So while Rico is trying to figure out what the hell this moving toy is, I am like, it's freaking me out, because out of the corner of your eye, you just see a darting movement. You're like, what the shit was that? It messes with your Star Wars response. So I've been fighting with this fucking mouse for the past 3 days, trying to kill it. Different traps, all this other stuff. I got the fancy ones so the dog doesn't step on it. And there's a stairwell right off the living room that I put one of the classic traps in. Just an old-fashioned wooden trap with a spring on it, because I didn't want, there's a door there, so I didn't want Rico to step on it and, then have to be on the run and change my identity because a small Asian woman's going to hunt me down for hurting her baby. So I didn't think anything of it, right? Today I'm like, I haven't seen the mouse. And while I'm listening to the commentators talk about Biden dropping out, I was like, I'll check that other trap. And we got that fat fuck with the worthless old trap.
Nice. They work, man.
I was so excited. And I was like, wow, two great things happened. The election got hilarious, and I killed this mouse. It was good times. I was very happy today.
Old style traps and peanut butter, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I put peanut butter on that. I even took one of the traps and put some of his dog food in it, because they're these spin traps made by Decon. They work great for executing mice. Basically cuts their heads off. So, but you don't have to touch anything of the mouse. They're in this self-contained little container. So those things were all over the living room, and that thing avoided every single one of them, but it went under the door to get to the most ineffectual trap known to man, and it killed him. Cracked his head open. Those things work shockingly well, because now mice are used to other traps and not the old style. So retro.
Well, the newer styles, I mean, they need to go into a small little space where the other ones are open, they can see.
Yeah.
And so they're like, I can get that. And you use peanut butter because it doesn't come off very well. So they actually have to sit there and work at it. And then their little neck gets broke, and it's a happy day.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of good things happened today. And now I saw Van Jones cry.
Right.
And that made me kind of happy on a really messed up level. And I just wanted to share my victory over the mouse, because I was fighting.
All right, we had our moment of zen. We some happiness and some triumphs in life. Let's go back to David. I swear my hair's not going away. Axelrod here.
Yeah, I kept a comb over there.
It looks like Phoebe's hair that just kind of collects when she walks around,
Why
you can see through it, man.
Everybody on here looks like a Muppet. Did you notice that?
Well, they do. Okay. Anyway,
obviously, Axe, we had been waiting to see if this.
Obviously, Axe. He's got a cool nickname, man.
Yeah.
Was actually going to happen. First, we haven't heard from you yet. What's your reaction to President Biden exiting the 2024 race?
Yeah, Caitlin, I got the news on a plane coming here into New York.
She didn't ask you where you got the fucking news. It's not the Kennedy assassination, asshole. Why does everybody got to do that? If there's something important to the story, like Biden's plane went down. Yeah, I got that news as I was exiting a plane. It just made me think, wow. Yeah, I got the news that he dropped out. Nobody asked you. She asked you what you think of him dropping out. God damn.
Yeah. Everything has to be this big momentous event.
They want to feel important. You're not wrong.
And, it was I was very sad, honestly. I think it was necessary. It's important. It's an incredibly important decision and difficult decision that he made for the country.
He did not do this for the country. Stop saying that stupid shit. Jack, we're going to have to listen to weeks of this shit.
I know. Probably months of it.
Yeah, this will go through the election. This will go all the way through him leaving office in 2020, or I'm going to throw out a theory right here. You know the October surprise?
Yeah.
I have a theory that in late October, as Kamala's losing very badly, something is going to befall the president of the United States, which changes everything.
I was wondering about that too. Like, are they going to hide Joe away for long enough to cover up some kind of illness, and then it's Kamala gets to be president for a month, and they're pleading for sympathy? Then, like, oh no, vote for our party because it's such a tragic day.
Joe did so much for. Yeah, we're gonna have to listen to this shit all the way through him leaving the election or leaving public office, and then one day he's gonna die, and we're gonna have to hear it again. Joe Biden did so much for everybody except for the Negroes. And,
yeah.
I had to explain to a black man today how Joe is racist against black people.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you just find some old video clips?
I just
about like kids playing with his leg hair.
Well, I listed off things, and somebody else came in, and I forget what they listed off. And instead of addressing any of the things I said, he harped on this other guy. Oh, the person brought up poor kids are just as smart as white kids.
Yeah.
And this guy tries arguing. Well, what he was saying is that all poor kids of every race are just as good as white kids. Like, except for the white kids are separated there. You get that, right?
Yeah. Like, white kids are inherently not poor because they're white.
Yeah.
I don't know why you have to explain this to people sometimes. Where do you find these people, dude?
In Joe Biden's world, melanin causes poverty. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist $12. My guess would be they're trying the Martyr Act. They saw how effective it is working for Trump. I can see them doing that with him. Like, even if like he doesn't die, right? He doesn't like go Air Force One goes somewhere without him, but somehow he dies in a plane crash, Clinton style. I have a feeling he's going to have another brain aneurysm.
Yeah.
Late October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he dies of the coof now, but because the man's he's 3/4 of the way into the grave already.
So the dude accidentally argued for race realism. Race economic realism. Anyhow,
that's kind of fucked up.
It really is. But that's how fucked up the Democratic Party is, and the minorities who support them. I do not understand you, okay? Even if you agree with the Democrats on abortion, which, by the way, they push to kill your kind, education, whatever you agree with them on, how do you not get how racist they are to you?
Yeah, they treat you like children.
Dumb children.
Yeah.
The kids who weren't allowed to play with crayons because they always ate them.
Or stuck them up their nose.
Yeah. Like, we got to take him to the doctor again. He poked his brain. And that's probably what happened to Biden. That's why it's gotten so bad. He was coloring one day and decided to scratch his brain with his pink crayon.
Oh, you know what it is? He was coloring a picture of a little girl with long hair, and he went to sniff the picture, and the crayon went right up his nose.
The truth is, he doesn't use crayons anymore since they changed flesh color from the white people tone.
Oh, that would not surprise me. Or as he called it, the Senator Bird color.
Yes.
But not the final chapter that he imagined, and not maybe the final chapter that he deserved. But
No, the final chapter he deserved would have been going to jail.
Yeah.
There is a real focus on the question that he has put in front of people again and again and again, and that is who and how can the Democratic Party defeat Donald Trump? And I think in that regard, the party took a step forward today. And
ouch.
Yeah, that. Woo.
This is how bad it is. The incumbent president, who, in the 20th century, like 2 incumbents ever lost, I think it is. Maybe 3.
That sounds right.
Incumbents don't tend to lose.
Like, things have to go really, really bad. Like Herbert Hoover bad.
And remember, if you're talking about like Gerald Ford, technically he was the incumbent, but he wasn't elected to that ticket. He wasn't there with Nixon when Nixon wins. He wasn't the VP. He gets instated as the VP after Agnew gets removed. So you can't even really count that one. There's very few in history where, and this is Axelrod saying our best bet was without the incumbent.
Yeah, but he is right. It's just a horrible thing to have to say.
I honestly think their best chance is still with Biden. They don't have a chance, but I think Biden would do better than any of the others.
Yeah, I think they're going to lose either way. They just had a better chance with Biden because he is the incumbent and he's got name recognition. Just those debates were so bad for him, it was costing them down ticket.
He is their best chance, and it's really sad that Hey, David, how come you weren't saying this 3 months ago?
Yeah, that's something you can ask almost every single one of these people.
And the president recognized it. And
he just said Biden recognized something.
Yeah, I doubt that. Pretty sure he walks by mirrors and is like, hey, buddy.
This is the guy that gets pictures showing him how to get to the podium, and then they have to go claim him because he can't find his way back.
I'm wondering how many of these now disgruntled staffers that just found all this out are going to be leaking all sorts of things, writing tell-all books about behind the scenes now.
Oh, this is something that hasn't been talked about, but really should. When it comes to, man, we might have brought it up briefly. When it comes to campaigns and stuff, they'll mostly still use whoever becomes the nominee. It's going to be Kamala. But what they'll do is mostly still use the Biden infrastructure. But the top of it's going to change. The campaign manager for Kamala, they might even keep the same person there in name, but it's not going to be Joe's people. It's going to be Kamala's people.
Yeah. Well, how many people has she gone through? People keep quitting on her because she's apparently very difficult to work with. And I'm wondering how many of these people are so going to be so disgruntled, not only by not finding out till like a minute before everybody else did, and now they got to report to Kamala Harris, who is notoriously difficult to work with. How many of them are going to be very pissed off?
Things are about to get really bad for them. Do you realize how many things she has going against her?
Almost everything.
One of the biggest problems for Kamala is women don't like women, and they especially don't like pretty women. And while Kamala's not like even a 5 in Hollywood, she's not ugly to the point where you'd be like, oh my God, I can't even look at her.
Yeah, well, for her age.
Except when she pulls her neck back and she gets that quadruple chin out of nowhere.
Yeah, that is really weird.
she's too attractive. Our first female president is going to have to look like Madeleine Albright or Janet Reno
Yes, or Margaret Thatcher.
or Margaret Thatcher. She's going to have to be an ugly bitch. It just is, because women have such power in this country.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's got that going against her. For all of the "I love black people" nonsense, the black people love Kamala. There's a lot of them who don't like her for all of their family she put in jail and kept in jail past their parole dates.
Yep.
Just so the state could get free labor.
And that is definitely going to be in an ad. If it's not brought up, I would be shocked.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody at the Trump campaign should be fired if they don't put that in an ad.
All they have to do is show a picture from, I think it was the New York Times, where they blasted out, Kamala has the biggest crowd ever at a presidential announcement, and then play just that clip of Tulsi.
Yes.
And then the New York Times, Kamala drops out. That's all you got to do. And you don't even have to add anything to it.
You could probably get Tulsi to narrate it.
I'm Donald Trump, and can you believe this bitch is actually running?
Right?
Yeah. Anyhow, back to Axe here.
And did the hardest thing you can do and stepped aside.
He sacrificed for us. Jack, literally the hardest thing he could do was not run for president. Do you realize that means 330 million Americans are doing the hardest thing you can do right now?
Well, I mean, we are doing the hardest job possible while doing the hardest thing.
Yes,
So,
we are heroes. We're
true.
superheroes.
Right? We have incredible powers to withstand all that pressure. It's amazing.
We're like
Man, we are
Deadpool
so
and Wolverine up in here.
That's right. Which one are you?
I'm Deadpool.
Oh, okay. I'll
Yeah.
take Wolverine. I'll be
Yeah.
fine. Wolverine. That's cool.
And only because of my mouth. That's all.
Yeah.
Guys, what do you guys think? Who am I and who's Jack? Anyway, back to Axe here.
I mean, it's, Van Jones was talking earlier about what a tough decision this must have been for President Biden. And when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, I mean, to go from a little over 3 weeks ago, showing up in Atlanta to debate Donald Trump, and then to this decision now is a pretty quick time span in the grand scheme.
He should have absolutely just been, nah, bro, right after it. Like, you know what, guys? I can't. You guys saw it. I can't. 3 weeks in politics is an eternity.
Yeah.
Before the internet became the place where time moves faster than anything, politics was that.
I think Joe really thought he did a good job at the debate because, I got cheap shots on him. I called him a loser. I called him a whiner. I won. No, Joe, you did terrible. I had a cold. I was on the road like a month before that.
I had jet lag from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
12 days since he'd been on a plane. I got jet lag, yo.
Scheme of things. But I wonder what you made, given you were a senior advisor to President Obama, in his statement, obviously thanking Biden for his service, commenting on his exit from the race, but not going as far as to endorse Harris or anyone to take the top of the ticket. Is that posturing on his part, or do you think that's just him taking a moment before getting involved and lining up behind someone else as the next nominee?
A lot has been made about the 2 hours it took Biden to come out and endorse Kamala. I don't think enough people, again, I think Obama's the one behind the scenes here. He's Oz. And he didn't come out and endorse Kamala. It wasn't on accident. Joe Biden coming out and going, hey, guys, I've decided I'm not going to run, and not thinking to throw his weight behind somebody, maybe even just expecting people to think, hey, I picked the VP, so of course I would be the one I will support her. Obama doesn't have that. The fact that he stayed silent is deafening. And I think it shows he knows she's got no chance in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're setting her up to be Mondale 2.0, where she gets like DC in her home state, and that's it.
Because right now what they can do is claim, hey, Trump got lucky. He only won because Biden had to drop out.
Yeah, and they could blame
It's
white
not-
supremacy.
Yeah, look, did you see the Steve Shives video?
No, I saw you posted it. I didn't have
fuck.
time to watch it before I got home.
Yeah, we'll bring that up and watch it. But they have so many outs here for losing now that it almost seems like they're purposefully setting Kamala up for failure.
That's what I was thinking too, because if they do that, then they can use her losing as the platform for the midterm elections.
Yeah.
Look at the racist, white supremacist country we live in. Blah, blah, blah. Be pure. Vote for her. By the way, Comrade Kitty, thank you. Monkey with a stripper pole and high heels and Jack with adamantium claws. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, baby. How did he get the gayest Batman he could get?
Hold on, let me enlarge that picture so I can get a better look at it.
Batman it's hard to tell because it's kind of darker than the screen there. But he's wearing like boxer shorts.
Yeah, I don't know what that's from. Superman, I think, is from one of the Migos, and same with Robin. I don't recognize that Batman, though, because he's smiling weird.
Anyhow, Steve Shives has a message for him. I don't know if we'll even watch any more of Axelrod because the guy's boring as shit.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to get another of the, he's so sacrificed. He didn't sacrifice shit. Shut the fuck up. That Batman makes Robin look manly. All right. This is the second time in like 2 weeks we've had Shives on the show.
Oh, that's wow. What's that all about?
I don't know. Butthole
Glad I
lips are
missed the
coming
first
back.
Well, you know, the classics, I guess.
Oh. All right, butthole lips, take it away.
I'm not saying that everyone who doesn't vote for Kamala Harris to be president of the United States in November is a racist or a misogynist. I'm just saying that if you are not a racist or a misogynist, you have no reason not to vote for her.
What about policy?
No. She's got a vagina and melanin.
Oh, so we just virtue signal our votes now?
It's literally how she got the job.
It is. It is. But what a horrible way to pick your leaders. Do you have the qualities that are somewhat popular with certain elements of society now? That's a terrible way to pick a leader.
The last time we watched this dumb fuck was right after the debate where he came out and said, people are calling for Biden to step down. Stop it. I'm paraphrasing, but it's basically what he said.
You know, I'm really glad I missed that show.
Steve proving that he's somebody you should listen to for political advice.
Yeah. Man, just go back to talk about Star Trek or whatever, Steve. At least your videos aren't horrifically dumb then.
I've seen some of his Star Trek videos, and some of them are absolutely horrifically dumb.
Yeah, but they're not as dumb as his political hot takes like this.
That is fair. That is absolutely fair.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so when I was at the comic shop, I think I told you this a while back. One of the customers in there was saying how much he loves the Alkalite. And he said, anybody that doesn't like it is just homophobic and racist. And 5 minutes before that dude walked in, I was like, that show's fucking retarded. And here's why.
That show is fucking retarded, and the end of it was really stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's just throw all of Star Wars canon in the trash and shit all over everything and kill all these characters for no apparent fucking reason. Everybody was stupid, and that everything was stupid. It was the worst fan fiction bullshit ever. But to hear people actually come in and say If you don't like it, you're a racist and a homophobe. That's how you view the world? That is so pathetic. And Shivesy here, I'm sorry, it comes off as incredibly pathetic.
Constantine, fuck, I can't say his name. Kissing over there on the Twitter machine. For those of you who don't know who he is, he's one of the hosts of Trigonometry.
Oh.
And over the last several years, he has become more and more conservative, and it's been fun to watch. He said this on Twitter: "You couldn't write a better finale to the last 8 years than a demented president resigning and handing over the candidacy to someone who was picked because she had a vagina of color."
Nice. That kind of does sum it up, doesn't it?
It is perfectly said. And this is one of the problems that they have with Kamala, is because there are a lot of people who are rejecting the woke nonsense. They're tired of it. Everybody's tired of being in trouble all the time. Everybody's tired of racism being accepted because it's against the right race.
Well, there's no redemption. No matter what you do, if you fuck up, you have fucked up forever. There's no coming back. If they decide that you're on the wrong side and it comes for everybody, then your life is destroyed.
Yeah.
And you can't come back from that. You're always labeled that thing. And life ruination is not a successful modus operandi.
But it works, or it has.
Yeah, but it can't work in the long term. You alienate too many people.
And a lot of the people who dealt with cancel culture, who got canceled, if they would have just kept talking, if they would have pushed back against the noise, they probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
And once people figured that out, it started to lose its sting.
Yeah, thankfully. Real quick, thank you, Keldrick. I can think of several women and non-white people I would vote for. Steve Hives, and none of them are Kamala. Look, Steve is not exactly the brightest bulb in the box. I kind of find it hard to hate the guy. I just think he's an idiot. But there are plenty of women I would vote for, even some non-white people. But yeah, none of them are Kamala. I completely agree with you, Keldrick. Thank you.
I don't know at this moment if I could say that there's women I would vote for, if I'm being honest. I just can't think of any that would be floated that I would say yeah.
Let's see. I would vote for Lauren Chen if she gave me nothing. I'm going to stop that before I go any further. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. Thank you for saving me. Look how quickly they turned on cancel culture once people started getting hit for the horrendous things they said after Trump's assassination attempt. Yeah, they don't like it projected back at them. That's a one-way street. They have the power, you don't. When they get canceled, it's how dare you? Oh, you're a bully. Yeah, wonder where we learned that one.
Katie asked Tulsi, hell no.
No, I won't vote for her because she's a gun grabber.
As I said earlier, she was a Bernie bro not that long ago. I look at her very much the way I look at Candace Owens. She might say things I agree with from time to time, but I do not trust her. You don't go from socialist to normal that quickly.
No, unless you have an agenda going.
Yeah. I
have a hard time trusting her. I'm still on the fence about JD Vance, and he's at least fairly conservative.
I'm glad you brought that up, because you and I have not had a chance to discuss this at all. Guys, I really haven't been online at all the last several days. I've been not feeling well. Jack, my back was starting to feel a little better, and then I decided it would be a good idea to go out and do a whole bunch of walking, which, as you might imagine, it didn't work out that well.
Yeah, it's like there's this trend where you start to feel better, and then you go and do something insane like that.
Like walking.
Yeah. What are you thinking, man?
But you and I have discussed JD Vance quite a bit. There's tons of people. I don't even know who that is. I'm like, well, if you follow politics like we do, you know his name, because he almost fucked around in 2022 and lost that Senate seat.
Yep.
and you're from Ohio. You followed this even closer than I did.
Yep.
I think Vance is a bad pick. I really do.
I do too. I think Vivek would have been a much better pick, and honestly a safer pick, because Vance has said things about Trump that are definitely going to haunt him now.
Yep.
He compared Trump to Hitler. He was a never Trumper until he ran for the Senate and needed Trump's endorsement. Now, maybe he has changed. I don't know. But to turn that quickly, like you just said a second ago, I find that suspect. He did write that book, Hillbilly Elegy, which was pretty good. I did read it ages ago, like right when it first came out. Somebody recommended it. It was a pretty decent book. But I don't trust the guy. I really don't. He does have a lot of conservative stances, but the fact that he was a never Trumper and said all the same shit the lefties said and the Lincoln Project said about Trump, and then to flip when it suited his needs, I'm worried he's going to be another Pence.
I think, look, Vivek, there's no way he gets picked. He's not the right religion. That's just the reality of America, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, they're giving J.D. Vance shit because he married a Hindu.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, by all accounts, she seems to be a pretty decent person. So I got nothing against his wife. I mean, whatever. I don't really give a shit. I'm sure it's upsetting the conservative Christian coalition, but
my pick for somebody who, if he was going to pick him with the idea of the Republican Party, if you're thinking about it politically, Jim Jordan, I think, probably would have been his best pick.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Jordan wants the job, though.
I don't think he does either. I think he wants his power in the House. Yeah.
Josh Hawley would have been a pretty good pick.
I think Holly, I said this earlier because it was who was brought up. Holly and I forget the other guy. They both come off as a little too elitist.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
They come off very aloof, and did you hear Sheila Jackson Lee died? Yeah, and my mom told me if you can't say something nice, not to say anything at all.
My mom tells me lots of things that I'm supposed to not do, but fuck that bitch. She was a mean old lady. I
only tend to do it when people die. I will follow that advice. Give me a week, and then Tom Cotton, that was the other one, yeah. But give me a week, and I'll be willing to talk about what I think about that horrible whore.
Yeah, look, I think Vance was a weak pick. Not the worst he could have done, but certainly not the best.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to hurt Trump too much. My biggest worry in that regard is that now Democrats don't have to call him Hitler. They can just point to this guy calling him America's Hitler.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really his biggest drag on the group here. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe he could convince me he's more conservative than it looks like, but he always smelled like a rhino to me.
I don't know if he's a rhino. He's an opportunist, is what I see.
Oh, he is absolutely an opportunist, but he's a politician, and you can't trust a politician.
And he was the leftists' favorite Republican there for a while, especially after his book comes out and hating on Trump. And
yeah,
he had a come to Jesus moment. He had a Candace Owens moment, and now he's the VP.
Yeah, he had a come to Financial Times moment.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to give him a chance to prove himself, but I think when he lost some weight, he got more conservative somehow. That's what it seems like, because when he was fatter, he was anti-Trump, and now that he's lost some weight, he's pro-Trump. So there may be a correlation there. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't entirely trust this guy.
The more likely you are to be found attractive by women, the more likely you are to vote for Trump. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying. I think Rand Paul would have been a good pick. Rand Paul would be a great pick, but the Republican Party would never accept him. Rand is too much like his dad, and they'll let him be a senator and call himself a Republican so that they have that seat. But he's way more libertarian than they like. Vivek also, I mean, that's another downside to him is he's more conservative than Trump is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I like about him.
Me too.
I really like Vivek. I would really like to see him run for president again and win.
Yeah.
But because I think he would actually be a good president, or at least he has the potential to be. But
I want Vivek to be chief of staff.
oh, that'd be good. See what Frosted said? If it was Vivek, I'd leave a kiss mark on the ballot.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. I think he would have been a better choice just from policy, but Vance is a political move. They want somebody to lock down Ohio, just in case, and I get it.
If I hadn't committed to voting for Trump, when I went in to vote this time, I would have wrote down Vivek's name, and they would have needed to bring in those people who clean up crime scenes to take care of my booth when I was done writing his name.
Now they would have hired the janitor from like one of the Lion's Den adult stores.
There would have been fucking DNA all over that thing. And I still might write his name in for VP.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, I will write his name in for VP. So, or maybe I'll do it for my own senator. He can't be a senator. I don't know if we have a Senate election this year. I don't know if we do. I should probably pay attention to that. It doesn't tend to matter here in Michigan. For some reason, we always are just like, yeah, send the Democrats in the Senate. Anyhow, so yeah, I think the Vance pick was, Plus, he really does need to shave.
No, he's got a baby
yes,
face.
no, I know. I've seen his face without it, Jack, but we will hire an ugly dude as long as he doesn't have facial hair.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to disagree because without the beard, he looks kind of like a cherub, and it creeps me out. I think he's like a
Dick
giant
Cheney?
man toddler.
Did you see Dick Cheney?
Oh yeah, but he's way weirder looking than Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney
he's more
looked like he was going to rape me at all moments.
Oh well, there's that. But look, without the beard, JD Vance looks like the mask the killer used in Happy Death Day.
You just can't have facial hair, though.
Oh, sure you can. Like Kamala's probably got a mustache.
How many presidents have had facial hair?
11,
according to this.
Oh, 11? That's pretty
11.
good out of 50 or 47, 46, whatever. Can't count.
How many have had facial hair in the TV era?
Oh,
none.
None, yeah.
Not one.
Oh, it was manlier back in the old-timey days.
It's still manly, but it doesn't play well. It gives people the idea that you're hiding something, and he absolutely is. Because I wonder if I can find a picture of him without his face, without his beard, because he looks ridiculous.
He does. A man without a beard cannot be trusted. I have heard that, Keldrake, which is why I'm glad I grew a beard.
Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. This is actually one of the better pictures of him without his beard. This is
like Circus Zero pointed out, people lose weight, get more testosterone. See, this is his fatter days.
This is actually after he's lost some weight.
Yeah, this is like middle of the fatty transition.
Yeah,
but he looks like a giant child, like when you dress a kid up in a suit.
We'll put up with that. I mean, what's his name? Bush's Dan Quayle. He looked like a giant kid in a suit.
Yeah, that's true.
You can do that. What you can't do is can't have facial hair. We don't like that.
I don't know. I think that's probably the only thing saving him at this point.
Speaking of not being able to grow facial hair, that was a great segue, wasn't it?
Are we going to talk about Buttigieg?
No, you brought a video.
I did. Yay! Look at that! Look at that guy. That is a dejected face right there of a sad soy-filled fedora tipper.
Yeah, just a little help for you gentlemen who can't grow in your beard or anything yet. When this part is bald, but you still have a 5 o'clock shadow, We can tell. All right. You have man titties because of the estrogen, not because you're fat.
Yeah, and the pot,
And the pot.
which helps with the estrogen.
Commit or don't. Just grow that shit out so you look retarded, or keep it completely clean. Anyway, I have not watched this, so.
He's dropped out!
Did
Cry.
Did he make a soundtrack to beat himself in the head trying to pretend to cry?
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord.
Rewind it a little bit too so you can watch it again and let it sink in.
He's dropped out!
Did he yell he stepped down? Is that what he said?
He dropped out.
He dropped out. Okay. I couldn't tell. There's horrible fake church music playing.
Yeah, pro tip for those of you that want to make videos, lower the volume of the music so it's not coming over the talking. You need it subtle, okay? Like in a movie. People need to be able to hear you, not the music.
And enunciate.
Yeah, well, with all the estrogen in this guy's body, I don't think he can.
He dropped out!
You're not real crying, homie.
Joe Biden, please!
Who is this made for?
I don't know. A lot of these videos we watch, I ask myself that. There's no answer. Because most of the time they're made for these people. For some self-aggrandizement, attention seeking.
Which
is why we laugh at them.
Guys, stop painting your nails. If you have a kid or a girlfriend who does it, by all means, that's fine. But then clean it off. This motherfucker actually put time into getting his nails done.
Yeah, it's really pathetic. If you're like have the full goth thing going on, this person clearly does not. But at least then you committed to it.
The only way you get to do it is if you're in a heavy metal rock band.
Yeah, and he clearly is not doing that either. So, guys, just stop painting your nails. It looks kind of pathetic.
Yep. It looks like you're a wannabe bitch.
Yeah, you're a poser, and that's just sad. Being a poser is not cool.
You're a poser of a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's not something to aspire to. Aim higher in life.
Divining Rod says, no, still not cool. That's how I feel about tattoos, though. Like, I hate tattoos, but if I see a biker or a sailor with it, I'm like, all right, you get a pass for that. Everybody, you're just trying to be cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, bikers and sailors get tattoos to look tough.
Yeah.
They don't get these pussy little tattoos of like SpongeBob and dumb shit like that. They get like skulls and spiders and, cool stuff.
My nephew got a tattoo of Hello Kitty on his ass. Which I kind of I respect because he did it as a joke. And I can respect it as a joke. And it's hidden from view, and you know what I mean? And if he doesn't go to prison, then he's fine.
Yeah, but if he goes to prison and anyone sees that in the shower.
Yeah, then he's screwed.
Yeah, you better get some armor plating on that cornhole.
Bro,
your eyes aren't even red.
Gen Z, we need to band together. Please. He was for Gen Z's first president.
Does he think Gen Z started 3 years ago?
Apparently.
Gen Z's had a couple of presidents already.
No, he was there first.
All right.
They need to band together, and have a good cry, apparently.
A good fake cry.
That's why nobody respects you, Gen Z.
Bruh, why you keep looking at yourself? You know you're not really crying.
Yeah. You know, there is somebody right now walking by that car on like their lunch break, eating a sandwich, minding their own. They look over and they see this fat, puffy looking dude crying with painted nails, and he's looking at his phone.
His
You
name
have
is
no respect from that individual walking right now.
his name is Puppy Dog Zero, or sorry, Puppy Dog City.
How much you want to bet he's a furry too?
Probably. Well, that would explain his almost beard. Thank you, Keldrig, who says this is gayer than Obama. Not by much. Not by much. Okay. Good job acting.
Well, I mean, Amber Heard was better at fake crying. That I just thought
you
that
couldn't
was
have
funny.
at least got a little dropper, and when you kept putting your hands to your eye, like squeeze out a little drop of water so it looked like you were actually crying.
I know, right? Like I
Or
had to share that.
Before you start, rub your eyes really hard so at least it looks like you've been crying.
It does make Van Jones look a lot more realistic now, you know?
Well, Vans was real. Pathetic, but real.
Yeah.
That was just really bad. Speaking of really bad, we just did Gen Z, so let's do our generation. This one has nothing to do with Biden. We're just ending on a happy note as I make fun of a really dumb woman.
Oh.
Because I, honest to God, don't know what this fucking lady's talking about.
I don't know, but it's funny.
Says hashtag Gen X never drank water. All right.
You grew up in Generation X. You have no recollection of drinking water.
I drank water straight out of the hose.
Yeah, we had a garden hose. We drank out of that thing all the time.
A
My
lot.
mom was like, "You're pissing me off. Go outside and play."
Yeah. We drank water all the time. But anyway.
Defining Rat said, "Water angers me."
Action of drinking water. You could not go to the store in the 70s or 80s and buy a bottle of water. No.
When did they start bottling water to sell?
Nivea, I think, was the first one to do that, or Naivete. Evian, that's what they're called. I think they were the first big ones to do bottled water. You could buy the gallon jugs of water, but the 70s, it would have been really difficult to find a bottle of water, I think.
The first bottled water sold commercially in the United States was sold by Jackson Spa in Boston in 1767.
Was that like some fancy dancy water? Like it's from a special spring?
In the 70s, just 350 million gallons of bottled water were being sold in the U.S. You could absolutely buy it. Do you know what Perrier water is?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Was it fancy people water?
Was it as popular as once they were like, hey, you got to drink a lot of water? No. But water was absolutely sold in stores.
Yeah. I don't remember ever getting it in the 70s and 80s because it wasn't like the hip thing to do. It had to be kind of cool first, and then they were like, you should drink more water and get microplastics in your balls.
No, it used to be that if you wanted water, you went to the sink and you got yourself some water, and then somebody's like, I bet we could sell water to these idiots, and we all started buying water.
True. We also used to have these things called water fountains.
Yep.
They were all over the place. They were in public buildings and offices everywhere.
We had to line up for it in school, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you were like super thirsty, you could be like, can I go to the bathroom? And then you stop by the water fountain, which was conveniently located near the bathroom 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. We didn't need to carry water with us because water was everywhere.
Yeah. And most of the time you couldn't bring like glasses with you to
Mhm.
class. Nowadays, if you're in college, or a high school even, you could have a bottle of liquid with you.
Mhm.
They used to forbid that. You weren't allowed to have bottled anything in class. You weren't there to drink sodas and water. You were there for learning.
But in this idiot's mind, since we didn't have bottled water the way we have it today, where it takes up too much space, there's no real reason for it, and people are paying way too much. We just didn't have water. But this isn't even the word. I love her description of her growing up because I don't know where she grew up. But here we go.
No, nobody would.
Go ahead.
Ed Beasy said, we even had 2 water fountains.
Pay for water. Our parents giving us water, not a thing at all.
Your parents never gave you water?
Oh, were your parents rich where you could afford Kool-Aid all the time? Because we had water. Just drink water.
Yeah.
To put it simply, we were some of the most dehydrated motherfuckers on the planet. Our classrooms were not air conditioned. It would be.
Jack, I was born in 75. I never went to a school that wasn't air conditioned.
My elementary school was not air conditioned, so I get that one. They installed air conditioning after I left, but yeah, that building was built in like 1938 too, so they never had air conditioning. It had heating, it just didn't have air conditioning.
I went to a school that was built in 1933, and when I was there, 50 years later, they had installed air conditioning in it.
Yeah, we never had that in elementary, but in middle school we did, because it was a different building. We had air conditioning, and in high school we did too. So yeah, I don't know what this crackpot's talking about.
Be hot as balls. There were so many teachers that would just bring a fan and it would just point at them. They were like, "Fuck them kids!" Trying not to die of heat stroke because there's no air conditioning in these big brick buildings.
Was anybody else hot, or was it just you, Chucky?
Yeah. Did you have to go? Were your classes on the second floor?
Go down to lunch and they give you this little 8-ounce carton of milk that we would suck down till it like crumpled. Time to.
I think she's trying to go for humor here.
Maybe.
We go to recess and we would go out and play on this like black asphalt with like.
Your playground was black asphalt? Ours was grass and sand, Jack.
We had an asphalt area because it was also the bus parking, and there was like a basketball court there. And then we had like a grassy area with like a jungle gym and some other bullshit. So yeah, we had a little bit of both.
We had the basketball court. One school I was in, there was a tennis court, so that wasn't grass. That was, whatever that weird shit is they put down for tennis courts.
Oh, yeah.
But never once was it like all you could do was go play in the fucking parking lot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember hardly anybody ever actually staying on the blacktop.
No.
Almost everybody went to the grassy area to play.
You went on the blacktop if you're going to play basketball.
Yeah, and I mean, in my elementary school, we didn't play a lot of basketball.
No shade. After recess, we would all line up and get a drink at the drinking fountain, but the asshole kids behind you would all count. Like each kid had 2 seconds. You'd be like, 1, 2, and then on to the next one. All the dietitians.
Sweetie, I think the kids at school just didn't like you.
Yeah, they were like, Fanny's going to drink all the water.
You got enough water weight.
And healthy people today are like, drink your water. You need so many ounces a day. And I'm like, shit. We probably drank about 4 teaspoons of water a day.
I think your parents didn't like you, lady.
For the record, a lot of the, hey, you need this much water every day is nonsense. We get a lot of the liquid we need a day just from eating. You've actually had people who go overboard with this and accidentally kill themselves drinking too much water, because you can poison yourself with water. I say as I drink Diet Pepsi. I just wanted to highlight her because I really do think she's trying for humor here, and it's an excellent example of why most women shouldn't try to be funny because they're just not.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe have a man write your jokes. Funnier.
Yeah, learn what exaggeration is because nobody had your experience, you fucking idiot. I'm reminded of an episode of Community. At the end of it, they do stuff that wasn't related to the actual thing. And in one of them, Abed is telling jokes, Jerry Seinfeld style. And Jeff is sitting there going, these seem very specific to just your apartment. And that's how I felt watching. It's like, I think you're trying for humor, but I feel like you went to a very specific school. Because I guarantee you, I went to more schools than 99.99% of the people in our audience, Jack.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, like I said, our elementary school didn't have air conditioning, but yeah, there's usually a box fan or something. I don't remember that a lot of that because I try to block out trauma, but I think that this lady is the example of I'm funny in my circle of friends or book club. They think I'm hilarious, and they're like,
Yeah.
you should put that on the internet. And that's a terrible way of doing things.
I just did the math in my head. I went to 10 different schools. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
And I might have even missed one. I feel like I missed one. I don't remember which one it is.
So what you're telling me is you had educational commitment issues.
I had a dad in the Navy.
Oh, yeah.
And not one of my schools was like this. Jenna says Army brat. I'm a Navy brat. So yeah, you and I probably, and I even had some extra ones because when we lived in Virginia, we moved. So I ended up going, if we had never moved to Norfolk, I would have missed 2 more schools. So it would have only been 8. But yeah, it's not funny, lady.
Well, she's not funny. That could have been funny.
Not the way she put it, man.
No, absolutely not. I mean, if a man had made the jokes, they would have been funnier. Like Jimmy Carr could make school funny, like lack of water funny, but this lady can't. She's not funny.
10 schools in 8 years, is that a lot? Yeah. Most kids, like I remember when we came up here, this is the last place I went to school, and they just asked the question, how many times have you moved? And I've moved even more than the number of schools I've been to. I think my actual number of moving at that time was like at 17.
Jeez.
Yeah. I love that I get to spend so much time with my grandchildren, and that my children had such a stable life that they went to the same school system their whole schooling, right?
Yeah.
But I do think they kind of missed out because us military brats, we do have to move away from our friends, and it kind of sucks, and you got to go make new friends. And I don't know how they deal with that today when kids are in their phones all the time. We had to learn to be sociable because you were always the new kid.
Yeah.
My children never had to be the new kid. And it's weird to me. But as a dad, I'm like, I think that's great for them. But I also kind of wish they had that experience. Because it is something that you just can't pick up. Military kids get very worldly quickly. Us and the kids in Hollywood, but for entirely different reasons.
Mostly rectally.
Yeah, they get rectally. They're rectums. Anyhow, with that, we're gonna wrap this one up. Drank from a hose. Ooh, says Gen Z. Yeah, they'd never do that. There's germs and stuff there.
Yeah, well, they're probably gonna get hit by a car across the street looking at their phone instead of paying attention. So
yeah. Also an Army brat, so I feel I don't hate any part of my childhood that was that revolved around moving so much. I really did. It was just how things were. Kids are resilient. It's amazing what they can put up with. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up here. Joe Biden is no longer running for president, but for some reason, he's still president. He should have dropped out of the race and he should have quit. He should have announced that he's stepping down from the presidency, because if he can't do it for the next 4 years, why is he being trusted to do it for the next 6 months?
Especially if you see how bad he is.
Yeah. And I get it. They probably were like, we're either going to 25th you or you drop out. So basically they let him stay as president, but they shouldn't have. He needs to be 25th. And the Republicans really, really, really need to be pushing that right now.
Yeah. Just for Biden's own benefit. I mean, they should be pushing that. Like, look, his own party doesn't care about him.
Mm-hmm. And believe me, guys, I know what that means. It means Kamala's president. It is what it is. I'm not okay with having a shadow government just because Kamala Harris sucks.
Yeah.
There should be somebody to hold responsible, and we don't have anybody like that right now. Anyhow, first term lame duck is embarrassing. It really is. It really is. So, Jack, guys, thank you for the donations and for coming and hanging out with us, for the likes, the shares. You guys are amazing. We really, really do appreciate it. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop some links to some cool videos. Excuse me. As always, thank you so much for all the support you guys give us. You're very generous, and it keeps us going, keeps the show going. We do appreciate it, and you guys are awesome.
Couldn't they use his own words against him to 25th him? Yeah, all they got to do is play the debate. He needs to be 25th. Somebody asked us if we keep up. Oh, go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
Well, I do hope that regardless of Joe stepping down and all that, they still release the video of him being interviewed by Hearst people.
Oh, we're never going to see that now.
Yeah, I still hope it leaks out, though.
Is this a gaming channel? No, I game on Twitch, and I do have Ranting Monkey games, but I haven't really used either of them in a while. I want to get back to it, but I've been having so many internet problems. So as soon as I can, I will be back to gaming, but we don't do that on here. I have one video on here of me gaming, and it was actually because of a mistake I made when I did the upload.
Yeah.
And I thought, fuck it, I'll just leave it here anyway. Somebody asked us if we ever check in on BX Beast Boy. I do keep an eye on him. I haven't talked with him in forever, but every time I see him doing a video or stuff, it seems to be about Ryan Upchurch, who is somebody I find annoying as fuck. He is proof that you can smoke too much marijuana, and not Beast Boy, but Ryan Upchurch. And I'm not interested. So anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Everyone, have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves. See y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Kamala doesn't have a dick to suck, and it makes her very sad. She wouldn't be such a whore if she'd really known her dad.